Avengers, so you know all the Avengers. They are millennial. They are true millennials.
Mac.
Should I get my Dune popcorn bucket for this?
This is a family-friendly show. We don't need that.
John is searching eBay right now.
Yeah, the high bidder on 5 of them.
All right, welcome back to another episode of RPG, Really Passionate Geeks. It is Friday, represents. How's everyone doing? I want to introduce my co-host, John, with I left the Vault 33 from the Fallout for this. Often mistaken as the Ryan Seacrest in gaming, has more bow ties than young Sheldon. And yeah, that's right. And Kiwi, the next Jack Black in gaming. With his trusty beard and Zelda shirt.
I can work with that.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Pipes. Me.
Just voice Bowser.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can sing the song as good, though.
It's weird not seeing you with your hat.
I know, huh? I mean, if you really want one, I've got at least 2 or 3 on standby.
Yeah, there you go.
There we are.
No, we got to switch it up sometimes. All right. Well, we got another exciting episode for you today. And before we get into our main topic, I just want to say thank you, everyone. I know we've been on stealth mode. This will be episode 10. And we're going to be soon releasing out of the stealth mode. So super excited about that, where we officially get to launch it here. But yeah, it's been an amazing season so far. I mean, I can't believe it's episode 10 already.
That came up quick, didn't it?
Flew by.
Yeah,
especially doing one a week. It doesn't feel like 10 weeks.
Yeah,
it doesn't really. But we're here, and if you guys haven't been following, we are just geeks who just talk about passionate comics, gaming, movies, entertainment, technology, anything geek related. And it's a very casual conversation, sort of like a bonfire, sit around, kicking back with some beers. That's our vibe.
It's like we're sipping Mountain Dew Code Reds together in our mom's basement.
Cheesy Dorito fingers and nostalgia.
And the old Surge. Can't forget the old Surge.
Oh.
Surge or Jamba.
Yeah, Burger
Coke's
King brought back Surge for a second.
Burger King brought back Surge Cola?
Just for a brief moment there, and it was beautiful.
Actually, no, it wasn't. You couldn't really call it cola, right? It was like toxic waste. It was so green you think it might turn you into like a Ninja Turtle, right?
Yeah, you need some rat away when you're done with that.
It's very syrupy. Yeah. Oh, man. Those are the worst. All right. Well, we're going to talk about kind of what we're known for. If you guys follow us on LinkedIn, John and I, and both Kiwi here, we are known for gaming industry professionals. We have a huge following on LinkedIn, and I don't think we actually dived into this topic, and I figured why not represent episode 10? Let's go back to our roots. I know this is what we're very comfortable in. Believe it or not, with myself being in the game industry, worked for Blizzard, now working for a company with clients like Riot and Epic. Been doing recruiting for 10 years. John has been in the space as well, working with Apple, startup companies, is a LinkedIn influencer doing audio events, and Kiwi in with the behind the scenes mastermind of video editing and production and working with other studios and other tech companies. We just want to share some knowledge. So I think this would be a great topic for us to dive in. It will be very comfortable for us. But before we get into that, let's get into some videos and some fun topics before we get into the serious stuff.
Ooh, videos.
There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I haven't done a shared screen yet, so
close those tabs.
This is gonna be fun. Uh-oh. All right, so Dune, as you guys know, both 1 and 2 movies have been doing phenomenally well, and there's fan fiction for this. HBO has announced Dune Prophecy TV series.
A series?
From the Dune franchise. Now, this is going to take place, I believe it's going to take place 10,000 or 100,000 years after the movie setting. Wow.
So it's going to be green and water and all that stuff.
Yeah, I guess, but this will be my first time to actually. It was officially announced about yesterday, so I haven't watched the clip yet, so let's watch it together and let's get some reactions.
I didn't even know.
Dive in.
Good old Mac.
Should I get my Dune
before.
popcorn bucket for this?
This is before the movie. Sorry.
This is a family-friendly show. We don't need that.
I thought for 2 seconds it might have been animated.
It kind of had that vibe at first.
Yeah, cell shading.
So we're going to be setting up new characters, obviously, if it's that far ahead.
Unless somebody is immortal.
Always.
Oh, great actor.
This has such like Game of Thrones and a
Game of Thrones
energy to it. Like, oh my god. Red Wedding.
Very Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Ooh.
There we go.
There we go.
Ooh.
Dune
Prophecy.
Dune.
And all those quick cuts.
Well, I like how the logo was like all cut up, so it's like an incomplete logo, like it's the incomplete prophecy.
Okay.
Sisterhood above all. Okay. So this is where they're going to get their magic powers, I guess, or they find out about the magic powers.
Maybe. So is this taking place before the movies or after? Because like
this is before. They said 10,000 before, so I do want to make that correction. Okay. It is 10,000 before the movie. So this is like, you know, his mother talks about the sisterhood and talks about that cult. And I'm not a huge Dune fanatic, so please don't come at me. But, you know, I do know that there's magic powers within that sisterhood. And it's sort of like the Sith, you know, sort of like Star Wars, where how did they come about, you know, getting who was the first one to get the powers and stuff like that.
Obviously, midichlorians.
Oh, yeah. Got to see what the M count is.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I'm wondering if it's going to have the same team, right? The same VFX team, the same directors, the same everything like that. I mean, I'm sure some of it's going to be different, but to keep the same aesthetic, right?
I think they kind of have to, otherwise they lose so much of that in translation, right?
Right. Yeah, because it's a huge, epic, universe that they've built, right? So turning one movie into three. So,
I can't wait. I love Game of Thrones. I can't wait to be another, you know, series that people get into. The production looks great. It looks like a movie budget for the production.
Okay, so according to IMDb, you're right. It does take place 10,000 years before the Paul Atreides storyline. And it is the origin story of the two sisters who created this Bene Gesserit all-female order. So there you go. It's the origin story. Everybody loves a good origin story.
Does it clearly explain how they ultimately become Gryffindor?
You know what? There's a little bit in here, but it just says he who shall not be named.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for another good TV series to get into, the binge watch. John, did you ever watch X-Men 97? Did you ever finish?
No. There's some sort of universal like notice out there where it's like anytime John's going to go watch the show, the little one gets sick or something happens, little one wise. So no, I'm getting universally blocked on watching X-Men 97.
Oh, I finally saw the last episode, Kiwi, and John made a hint about this the last episode, and I didn't realize it. And then I was like, oh, yeah, John's right.
And John, you already guessed it, so you know what we're talking about.
Astrid M? Nice. That was
huge cliffhanger, though. I mean, we've got a few seasons ahead of us. We've got a few, at least.
Well, did you see the very last Easter egg? You probably didn't realize it. So we introduced Cable, which is the son of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor. Madeline Pryor. But, you know, Jean Grey also has a daughter with Scott Summers.
I gotta brush up on my my X-Men lore here.
Who's Maury Povich in here? We need some paternity stuff. Cable, you are the father.
So they're saying it's not confirmed, but they're saying the daughter was at the very last clip.
Oh, okay. I could see that. Yeah, and there was, you know, I don't want to give too much away for the listeners and for John.
Try not to.
We'll give it a week or two to simmer. But yeah, there was actually quite a few in the last 5 minutes that scene that you're talking about, where there's little things that you'll pick up on in the background and everything like that.
You'll love it because they do a cameo of pretty much like the Avengers. They do a cameo of like every superhero.
And that's not ruining anything. They're just some badass cameos.
Right. There is one thing I can say is not a spoiler. It's more an Easter egg. So you remember Spider-Man 94 animated series? And you know how that ended with Madeline Webb, Mary Jane.
What did she say?
Mary Jane was a clone this whole time. We got to find the real Mary Jane. And then it ends. Spider-Man 94 season ends. I love the fact that X-Men 97, the same writers, the same passionate people within those animated series. I love the fact that they always wanted to finish that storyline. So in the last clip, John, it shows Peter Parker finally finding the true Mary Jane. And that special to me. I was like, yes, the Millennials finally finished their storyline.
In all of its like
loop is closed.
Second and a half glory.
Yeah. Well, that also can bring it into like now Spider-Man can do Spider-Man 98. How
2099.
This X-Men series will probably definitely start a little bit of a trend of
let's bring back Spider-Man 98. I mean, Spider-Man was just as good as the X-Men back in the 90s.
100%. I loved the whole Spider-Man show, the Spider-Man, X-Men, and then there was some other what's the other one I'm thinking? Huge brain fart all of a sudden. We're getting up there in age. I guess I can't remember every detail.
Is that the millennial pause?
The millennial pause.
Oh, God.
I just found out what that was, by the way, everybody that's listening.
That clip of the Avengers. So all the Avengers, they are millennial. They are true millennials. If you can do a casting type in Wikipedia of what is a millennial, watch Avengers Endgame. Because they're all millennials. And I love that montage where they're all doing like their TikTok lives or they're all doing their Instagram lives. And they all do it spot on. They wait about 5 to 10 seconds. Is this on? Yeah, I think even one person says, is this on?
That's the worst.
The feeling I get watching that is the same feeling I get when I'm watching some sort of show and it's giving me tailored ads and it's like terrible things like Flamin' Hot Cheetos and like bad purchasing decisions that you just know you should make. And you're like, oh, algorithmically speaking, I'm this guy. Yeah, same thing. You watch that and you're like, oh no, that's me. That's me.
Algorithm reveals all.
Yeah. We are laid bare before the algorithm.
Our millennial minds cannot fathom in thinking that once you hit record, it instantly records. It just cannot.
It's because we're too burned out already. That's the thing.
I don't care what anybody says. It does. Especially as a video editor of whatever caliber, I need the buffer. Just give me the buffer.
You need the buffer. I don't know what it is too. Gen Z's like, you guys are idiots. I was like, I'm sorry. We didn't grow up with instant records.
Gen Z's like, unsubscribe.
Let me stick you in a payphone and see how long you last.
All right. Well, let's get into more fun stuff. Let's get into more fun stuff before we break it down into the serious topics. Because I think this is going to be a serious topic that everyone can really appreciate. And kind of give us our little spin on it. But let's go with another fun topic. John, you brought this up many times before. You love gadgets like drones, and you love these little... What was that store called? Brookstone? That store in the mall that had all the little dad gadgets?
Or the Edge, not the Cutting Edge. There was that one that was something like the Edge, which was basically the same thing as Brookstone. It was all like super cheap stuff that was mostly in Sky Mall.
Yeah,
was it
and that was only like stuff you can buy for your dad, right, for his birthday. That he would think is cool, like a grill with like MP3 player,
Oh yeah.
Recliner with a cup holder that had a cooler in it. Yep.
Sign me up.
All right, so I'm going to share this clip for you. I think you're going to appreciate this, John.
Sharper image, by the way, is the thing.
Sharper image. There you go.
Sharper
image. Yes, true 90s dad store.
Sharper image, Circuit City, and Radio Shack.
There you go. All right, guys.
Oh,
hey, we were just talking about those.
The big box.
Insane.
Look at the black gloves and everything. Wow.
And these things must be selling like hotcakes because you can't get them.
That's just perfection.
Oh, man. Look at the little brush strokes and everything on there, like the little tattered details.
Yeah, it's so detailed.
Yeah, you could probably build a GPT that would figure out how to create like a nanobot powered version of this. It would actually be like a real transformer.
That is too sick. I need one of these for like Heavy Arms or Death Scythe, right? I need some Gundam.
Oh,
We didn't have this growing up. We did
Oh
not
God, no,
have
we
this
didn't have
technology
this.
growing up.
We had a
Oh.
version of this that was so complicated. I think I went through the process of transforming it out into the truck like once and then just left it as a robot.
yes.
All
Call
right,
it.
but that's not all. I have a bonus clip. How can it get even better? Oh, it can.
Megatron.
It can.
What? Oh my.
There it goes. Let's see it.
Oh wow.
Holy crap.
It's insane.
And that's all servo driven, just doing its thing.
The Husky?
Yes, that's servo driven.
That's awesome, man. Especially with the trailer that comes off the back with the
I
little turret on
know.
top and everything, like his little armoire that he brings.
John
with him
is
everywhere.
searching eBay right now for
Yeah. The high bidder on 5 of them. Wow.
That's really cool. And it's not too big and gaudy where, you know, it could probably go up somewhere like this. And then you just need to hook it up to a switch and just every once in a while just push a button and let it transform behind
I
you.
mean,
it's happening.
They're smart. I mean, they are definitely taking advantage of the millennial money that we
Oh,
have
yeah.
and our disposable incomes. And they're like, yeah, they're going to spend $1,000 on this type of figurine. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's nice is that acts as proof of concept. So we'll even see weirder and weirder stuff as we continue to age and more of us nerds get more money. They'll keep making weirder and bigger and stranger stuff.
I hope
I
they
mean-
do.
I mean, we grew up with crap. I mean, literally, it was plastic, and we got excited over plastic. And now, look at this. Like, there's no way we could fathom this type
Real
of technology.
cannon action, and it just you push the little spring back and let it go, and it just goes.
And remember, we drank out of the garden hose, so that thing would have been destroyed in like 1 week time.
Oh, yeah.
Drank out of the spigot yesterday.
Yeah, same here. I was filling up the pool for our little one, and I drank out of the hose, and I was like, you can really taste the lead.
Yeah, we call it minerals. They're minerals.
Oh yes, minerals and 11 herbs and minerals and spices. Yes,
Yeah.
Good old Vegas water. It's like a million degrees coming out of the hose. You got to wait. You turn it on and walk away for like 10 minutes so it'll cool off.
use it to make some spaghetti.
I can make a swimming pool sized bowl of like ramen if I wanted to.
Do you guys remember that show and corresponding? So sometimes the show was okay, but the toys were great. Probably because the show is based on the toys. Remember Exo Squad?
Do actually.
Yeah, I think they made a
Exo
couple
Squad,
of
yeah, where you put the little pieces inside like the circles.
pieces in the circles.
No, I don't remember.
I don't. Well, that might be a part of it. All I remember
toys.
was like really cool mechs that had missiles and all kinds of weird things. My friends and I would actually make like a mini Warhammer version with those things, except it was all like make it up as you go. So it was chaos.
That's pretty cool. Street Sharks. Street Sharks is
Street
a
Sharks,
great
yeah.
example.
Street
of,
Sharks,
right? Toy versus show.
Silverhawks. I had all those toys.
Yeah, which by the way, they're I heard they're rebooting the Street Shark franchise.
I heard that too.
Do you guys
I
remember?
heard
Okay,
that too.
it wasn't the most popular, but it was so badass, and my brother and I used to watch it religiously. Do you remember SWAT Cats? Did anybody watch SWAT Cats?
That's
A little
Okay.
bit. I wasn't
It was
excited, but I
just-
did watch it. Yeah.
It's Gotham City with cat people, right? That's the best way I can describe it. And there's two of them that fly this badass like F-14 jet that's all decked out, and the whole show was like some big monster attacks the city or something, and it's like they just hop in this jet and like rock music and guitar solos are playing, and they're just flying through. Oh, it just my little boy heart was just, I loved it.
This is the same animators as Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
Super
Gargoyles is on Disney now.
Yes. Now, did the SWAT Cats, were they like a natural escalation force from Paw Patrol? Or Paw Patrol, that is? Like, did Paw Patrol, like, couldn't quite hack it? Did they call in the SWAT Cats?
No, the SWAT Cats were the first line. That's for sure.
Oh,
Paw
my.
Patrol, they're, you know, I'm going to be honest. I don't watch Paw Patrol. My little girl, I'm so blessed.
Who
She
does?
loves Spider-Man. She loves South Park. Let's not watch that anymore. I found her watching that the other day. She absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
Big no to that. Give it another year or two at least. I don't know.
All right. Let's do one more fun topic, shall we, before we get into the serious one?
Let's roll.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and ask this question for both of you guys.
Seven.
It is, What combination of a Marvel villain and hero are you? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you guys give me your answers, and then I'll put those answers in, and then we'll see what it comes out to. All right. So, how would your friends describe you? Clever, kind, funny, dedicated, loyal, or brave?
John, go for it.
Evil. Let's go, for the sake of this thing, let's go brave.
Brave. Okay. What about you?
What were they again, real quick? I'm sorry.
Clever, kind, funny, dedicated, loyal, brave.
Right off the bat, I'd probably say fun.
Okay.
I don't take much serious.
All right. Second question. What's your personal flaw? I don't believe in myself. I always think I'm right. I don't show my emotions. I'm too cocky. I joke around too much. And the last one is I don't care about problems.
That's a flaw?
Wow. Yeah, that's a kind of a learned skill. Great question. Thanks for asking this, Justin. I'd say my biggest weakness is that I'm a perfectionist. And just kidding. The worst interview answer anyway.
So you always think you're right?
Job interview?
What are the options one more time, J-Dubs?
I don't believe in myself. I always think I'm right. I don't show my emotions. I'm too cocky. I joke around too much, and I don't care about problems.
I joke around too much for me.
My wife just told me literally like 2 days ago, she was telling me a very deep sob story about some dramatic things going on, and I glaze over when that stuff happens. 100%,
so you don't show emotion.
100% no emotion when it comes to that.
Rock mode.
I'm trying to be more empathetic these days. I'm trying. Sorry, babe.
All right. Pick a weird superpower. Always be able to tell if someone's lying. To turn into whatever animal I want. To be able to change my opponent's strength level at will. That's something I would choose. To be able to unlock any secret code. To give other people courage by clapping my hands.
What?
And what are you talking about? I'm already too powerful enough.
Who came up with these?
A millennial, probably.
Did it work? I would say any code.
Okay. I knew you were going to pick that one, John.
Unlimited money. Love it.
Very terrible choices. Just for fun, let's go animals.
Okay.
I could have fun with that.
Yep.
I could have fun with animals.
Okay.
No pun intended. Yeah, don't look at me like that.
All right, last question. Where would you most like to live? Asgard, Marvel. Wakanda, Marvel again. Avengers headquarters. Avengers Tower, because there is a difference. The Avengers headquarters is on the ground floor. The Avengers Tower is right in the middle of the city. Queens, Spider-Man, or Luca Bravo, or Xandar, another Marvel one. I think they're pretty much all Marvel, except for Queens. I mean, Spider-Man wasn't real.
What are you going with, QE?
Okay, it's hard because as much as I would prefer Wakanda, right, because it's just a utopia, basically, that nobody can find, I don't think I'd fit in exactly. But I might want to go, I'm going to go Avengers Tower. I'm going to go Avengers Tower. I think there's a lot of amenities. I think it'd be a good spot to live as long as it's not blowing up every month. I'll be happy.
That would be the X-Men mansion. No, I will say the same thing. Let's see if we have this point of consistency, what it does algorithmically.
Okay. Honestly, I would probably pick Asgard just because it has that RPG Final Fantasy kind of vibe that I like.
Okay. Is this pre or post Ragnarok?
Too soon.
It's the people.
Why? Okay, John. Your villain, Thanos.
Oof.
Your hero, Thor. You're a mix of Thor and Thanos. You're brave, headstrong, and sometimes a little cocky. Nevertheless, you fight hard for your cause.
This is coming from a very reputable source, John.
Yeah, clearly.
All right, Kiwi. This is 100%. If anything else.
On.
All right. So your villain is Hela.
Oh, Hela.
There you go, from Ragnarok.
I got
there
the
you
curves.
go. Which, by the way, Hela is super OP in Marvel Rivals. Good lord, that is like sniper on crack.
Well, in the movie too, everything. Hela's a beast.
Super crusher.
Your superhero is Ant-Man.
Nice.
All right, Ant-Man.
Okay. I fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. You know what? He's a little underrated, and he never ages. So I'll go with it.
He never ages.
All red. That's true.
That is absolutely
slap in the world, right?
Yeah.
And hey, let's give it up to Ant-Man for saving the entire universe with his van.
As vans are known to do.
It happens.
Well, not even the entire universe, like molecules and atoms and neutrons in general. Like 50%. That can expand to multi-universes. Yeah, he definitely saved. All right, well, that was fun.
Were you answering the questions too while you were doing it?
I wasn't. I should have.
Yeah, we gotta get yours, man.
I should have.
Run through it real quick. Let's hear it.
Run through it real quick. Okay, I'll run through it. I'll let you guys discuss.
While he's doing his, Kiwi, let's see if we can guess what his will be. Villain. So it's villain and hero, right? That's it?
Villain and hero, right.
Oh, okay.
Let's get creative. Let's see. By those answers, I'd say we're going to get something very polar, like a Hawkeye.
Oh.
And like a Doctor Doom.
I was definitely going to say Doctor Doom. 100%. Okay, I have to change.
Doctor Doom.
I'm going to say then Galactus. And
okay.
Galactus and Punisher.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't think he's Stonewall enough. They might not give it to him.
I don't know. He murders those t-shirts.
Ew. Murdered some donuts for breakfast this morning.
I don't think this is good, but it shows me the same thing as you, John. Thor and Thanos.
Oh. Okay, so we've got like two options.
It's either
pretty much right. Two options.
All
right. Well, let's dive into the serious topic here. Let's talk about the gaming industry. So the gaming industry, let's talk about the layoff market. Let's talk about the current market. John, I know you've been headstrong in talking about these topics for a while now with all your events and audio shows and all everywhere you go to. And unfortunately, for myself and Kiwi included, we've been affected by the layoffs here. I worked in AAA gaming, and an interesting stat, which I just found this out yesterday, which is kind of crazy. So we were at 10,000 jobs lost from 2023 in the gaming industry. And I just checked yesterday. Here it is, May 2024, not even halfway through the year, and we're at 9,700. So we are 300 away from being the limit of 2023 already, and not even in June.
It's rough, man. And I think it's some overzealous sort of early decision making that led to this. And really all I mean is like a real estate market. It's very promising. Video games are booming. It's an industry on the rise. I mean, big time on the rise. I think people were maybe kind of overdoing it, overhiring, overproducing, maybe expanding when they shouldn't have. I don't know. Every case is a little different, right? But I think there's a little bit of there's a little tinge of that in there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors at play here. I'll go back to the one that I will happily cite the most often, just based upon numerous decades of doing this stuff, and that's largely bad layoffs resulted from bad hiring practices, which generally stem from underskilled, very political way to say, underskilled leadership. And that's probably folks who got promoted from individual contributor roles into people leader roles when they were the only option, right? A lot of times one of the worst mistakes a business can make is you're a wonderful individual contributor and you're a phenomenal creator, so you should definitely be good at leading a team of people doing the thing that you were doing. Yeah. We are talking about two different skill sets. It's like saying you've been to Australia, so you should probably be really skilled with a Frisbee. Right. It has absolutely no connection, right? So,
and it doesn't always translate that way, right? Too, just like in sales, even though you're a top producer, you're the top salesperson, that doesn't mean that you are the right person to lead a team. Because once you become a top producer, 9 times out of 10, they take away your sales ability. You're not in push mode, and now you have to team. And a lot of times,
when you have to be accountable for other people, there's definitely some different. And I mean, even at the highest level, the whole debacle with Microsoft, right, and buying up a bunch of smaller studios and overstretching themselves, not having the bandwidth, and then closing those studios. I mean, poor guys who went along with that. My heart goes with them.
Now, John, you were affected by layoffs too, right? I didn't want to discount you. Were you, or were you not?
A very long time ago, essentially, I had a chance to take I think it's almost overly. I feel almost like I'm jumping on a bandwagon saying this. I was heading up a global people function, and was given a great choice, and I took one to be able to spend time with our little one. So it was maybe not one that was entirely on the table in terms of my idea, but it was a good option when it came along. Gotcha. And it's certainly when I'm careful now not to say, oh yeah, I was affected by layoffs, because I was not called at 9 o'clock in the morning to find out that my laptop wasn't working right. Like so many people have had that experience.
The rug pull.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to me, when I was working. They found out late last night, and usually layoffs happen like that. They don't tell anyone. It's very high level. It makes sense. They don't want it to be leaked. And so only certain high levels knew about it. And I remember I was keeping tabs on this app called Blind. Blind is like the 4chan where people are anonymous, provide leaks. They can provide, intel without disclosing who you are. And usually Blind has been very accurate as far as with the leaks and layoffs, but there was nothing on Microsoft until the morning I woke up. And then there was a news article leaked at 4 o'clock in the Slack, and they were saying, okay, you're going to get a call. We don't know when you're going to get a call today, but if you do get a call, that's your... So we were all on pins and needles waiting for that call. So why do you guys feel like this is a one-off, or, do you feel like this is kind of the cliche of in cycles? Where do you guys see the landscape, this tough job market?
I think this is kind of the biggest push for gaming that we've had in a while. Besides, it's been pretty steady, but it's really kind of spiked and peaked lately over the last 10 or 20 years. And this is kind of the biggest and only one that I'm aware of, really, as far as this bell curve, this trend. I'm hoping it's just a boom and bust, and everybody kind of learned their lessons, and it doesn't happen again. But unfortunately, it's probably more likely to happen at some point, unfortunately.
Yeah, I strongly agree. This sort of behavior is cyclical. Call it market behavior, call it behavior on the part of the decision makers. There's one factor that I would point out, though, that maybe has like two pieces to it, and that's AI-driven job displacement. That I think that's both directly affecting folks right now, where companies are saying, boards, which are largely people who've been on the planet for 70 or more years, which may not necessarily describe a group that's super savvy on what AI is and how it's actually working. I'm hearing all these really interesting things in certain calls about, the board just wants us to be cautious with our hiring and or engage in layoffs because they know AI is this big thing that's going to replace a bunch of people, and we don't know how yet, but we don't want to be sitting on a bunch of talent when that happens. And that is a pretty myopic perspective. However, here's why I think that's myopic. In games, that same job displacement is going to result in a lot more time that people can play. A COVID-esque sort of renaissance of available time that people will spend playing and connecting and belonging virtually. And so you're going to see a market where the tide goes way out on talent, and then all of a sudden this crazy surge of need comes, and everyone's going to be hiring like crazy. Anybody who's applying is going to get 20 emails a day again. We'll be back there before we know it.
I am a glass half full kind of guy, and one thing specifically with this AI and all this new technology that's sort of at our fingertips, and most of it for free even. One good thing is going to come out of it is I think there's going to be a lot of individuality. I think a lot of indie devs and people who have had dreams and passions and ideas are going to be able to execute them a little bit easier now. So we might see a little surge in sort of these different indie games and studios come out.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to, to do the last rampway here. Let's talk about the positive things. I always said through chaos there's innovation. That's how you learn and grow. That's how you push yourself. If there is a struggle, if there's a problem, the need to find a solution. With this, there's a struggle right now with AI. There's a struggle with bad management, shareholders, greed, call it what you will. But if you look at the flip side and see what comes out of this, I personally am starting to see a lot of rebellious people, whether they've been affected by layoffs or not, kind of take it and they want to run their own studios. Like I've seen so many new studios pop up this year alone than last year. On top of that, VC funding, venture funding was huge because everybody threw money. They didn't really have the metrics and how to figure out the AI. They didn't figure out the robust pipeline. And so a lot of it dried out, as we know. But now we are starting to see, and I think creative, the key word here, we're starting to see more creative jobs, and we're starting to see more creative funding. And the creative funding that I'm really excited about is Kickstarter. And Kickstarter has numerously funded a lot of games that transpired into published games on console. And that just proves, like, you know, take it back, like, just because I grew up in the hood doesn't mean I'm going to stay in the hood. You know, just because there's no VC money, just because there's no bank money, doesn't mean that you're not going to create this game. These people are saying, screw that. I'm going to find my own way to fund this game, and I'm going to make my own studio. You know, and that's how a lot of studios formed. They took head people from Blizzard, you know, to run their own. They're now running their own studio. Ex Riot, all these ex heads, these CEOs and C leaderships branching out and running their own studios, and that part I love. Have you guys seen that shift, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what, I completely agree with you, J-Dubs, especially with the crowdsourcing the funds, because, you know, if you look at the way that games and movies and a lot of media is made, it's a bunch of people who have made stuff, usually have made stuff before, or at least have some good ideas, usually both, trying to guess what people will buy and saying, well, we hope that this idea sells. Let's just spend $20 million building something, and we hope that works out. Well, instead, what if you're pitching your idea and your customers are actually there showing up and giving you feedback in real time? And I think that's the power of crowdsourcing, where you're getting newer, better ideas that are evolving and iterating faster, getting feedback more quickly so that they can be great with way, they're failing faster and evolving more expeditiously than these big AAA studios who, you know, that's why I like the triple I, the indie world. I think it's just so cool on Kickstarter and other Indiegogo and other forums.
Yeah.
HIO.
Big check mark on that. I agree 100%. Yeah. Crowdfunding and crowdsourcing in general is just, everybody wants to be a part of it. They feel like they're contributing to this title, and when it comes out, they get to play, right? And then you get early feedback, like you're saying. Maybe there's some things that have to change. Maybe it's a failure. Maybe your passion project is just your passion, right? It's a way to find out without spending that 20 million or finding an investor and then they hold that over you for, you know,
eternity.
But yeah, I agree 100%. And I think it's becoming much more mainstream. I mean, I scrolling through Shark Tank every once in a while. I mean, half the time these people are saying, hey, we started on Kickstarter or some sort of crowdfunding platform. And it's just a common thing now. And that's where a lot of people are starting, especially these indie game devs. And I love it. I mean, I've got one or two projects in the pipe that are going to be on there soon enough.
There you go. Speaking of self-promotion here, I want to end our podcast with on a lighter note. So Jon, we have kind of promoted this a couple times, but Jon's wife has started a clothing company at the Nerd Vault, and for a good cause, a nonprofit charity organization for love with kids, people all around who are using the common theme of gaming save lives. If you think about it, music save lives, mentors save lives, so is gaming. And I'm rocking the X-Men 97 inspired shirt, class of 97, rock and roll Gambit shirt. Kiwi, you can do your little booping Gambit shirt on there.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can give you credit because it's not cut off and you still got sleeves.
Well, I didn't want to rock the
well, we can't handle Justin's abs.
I am not rizzing like you know.
Folks, come back for episode 20 for ab riz from.
I mean, he has the riz to pull it off. I'm not there yet. But,
that Cajun accent.
Justin Riziums.
I mean, Gambit's the only reason I don't let my wife watch X-Men. You know?
All right, under his eye. All right. May the Lord open. I hear you.
And Jon, what are you rocking?
So I'm rocking our Vault Tech off-brand Kirkland signature. I left Vault 33 for this ? And the new version actually has the 33 gear logo on the back, thanks to a really awesome user shared some, or customer that is, shared some insights. We've got, I would say at this point, some 10 of our designs are community created or ideas that we've just put together in fun calls where we just meet up and hang out and have a couple glasses of wine or whatever bubbly, sparkling water you want. And we come up with cool ideas. My favorite one we have right now is Climb Mount Halcyon. And if you've played through Baldur's Gate 3, you'll understand this reference. Desiree Rincon, amazing member of the games community, brilliant leader, most recently with Eric Barnes and Squad over there in their startup.
They just formed their new studio.
Right?
Hazards?
Digital Hazards, yeah. But hey, here's the thing. Go to www.nerdgear.io in the month of May, and who knows, maybe for longer, and certainly again sometime soon. All of the proceeds from anything that you buy goes directly to Games for Love, where we replace pain with play by placing Nintendo Switches in children's hospitals, cancer wards, burn wards all around the world. And just for some numbers, it costs about a little north of $100 to put a Switch. And let's just say $100 to put a Switch in a hospital. On average, 3 kids per day will get to play that Switch for a couple of hours a day. Now that means that's basically 1,100 kids a year who get access to games therapy because of that one Switch. We've already raised more than $2,000, and so that, do the math. That is an incredible number. We're now well over 22,000 kids helped because of people buying nerdy T-shirts. So come buy a nerdy T-shirt.
Yes. Is that part of the millennial thing too? When you do the www before you give the
that's a millennial thing. That's a Gen X thing, actually. I'll put that on Gen X, not millennial.
The World Wide Web, dear. I'm surfing the interwebs.
Well, a little sneak peek here. I'll give you a little announcement. John is part of the board of Games for Love, and sneak peek. I just got invited to become one of the strategic advisors for Games for Love 2 as well. And we'll make the official announcement on LinkedIn soon. But because you're watching our esteemed podcast, I want to get here, get a little nugget. So I can't wait to represent John here. And hopefully we can get Kiwi on board here very soon, which, by the way, is in the works. Already plans to talk about your amazing skills here, Kiwi. So, yes, we are very excited. We love to give back. This is our community, but all of our communities, it's a great community. It's a wonderful. I'm excited to be part of episode 10. What?
Episode X.
Let's go.
We'll give it to you.
Let's go. Episode 10. All right, guys. That's another wonderful episode of RPG, Really Passionate Geeks. Can't wait to see you guys in the next. I don't know who we're going to be somewhere. Comic-Con, who knows? But we're excited to be here. With that being said, peace out. Everyone have a good one.
Later, nerds. See you next time.